Yes, Stu Skinner last year was one win away from winning the Stanley Cup. Right now, he's 71st in goals saved above expected. Yes. That's a stat that we got directly from O-Dog. If you had to describe Stuart Skinner right now, and as he's getting ready for the playoffs, in one single word, Marty, how would you describe it?
Well, you know, I grew up French, right? So it's hard to pick one single word, but I would say erratic. Erratic, why? Because you have some highs and you have really low lows when it comes to Stuart Skinner. And last year, at least second half of the season, it started to get steadier and climbing the ladder. And then in the playoffs, it got better. And this year, it started bad and it didn't get better. Now, you get a good game like last night where you say, hey, Stuart Skinner, one of the top 3 stars. That's fantastic. But it's still too erratic for me to be able to go into the playoffs and say, hey, this is the guy that we can trust. And Chris Knobloch says we've been fragile of late. Yeah. Fragile usually means defensively, and it starts with goaltending. So that's why they're fragile.
And I think they go hand in hand here. You use the word erratic. O-Dog always talks about their defense being the dog park defense when they're not playing well. Because it's just 5 guys chasing the puck around. Yeah. I'll give you an example. If you watch that game last night, Joel Armia's goal, there's 4 guys back. It's a 2-on-4. And you've got your top players, RNH, Hyman, Nurse, and Bouchard, and Armia is wide open in the slot for a one-timer.
But that's not a great goal to give up. Okay, it's a shot on the ice in the middle of the net, and it went right through him.
But why are you giving up a one-timer from the slot on a 2-on-4?
Okay, but to Marty's point, though, I get the fact they've got to be better defensively in front of them, but you've got to make the saves that are makeable.
Sure you do. You've got to make the saves.
And right now they're not.
And I'm not arguing that. I think that Stuart Skinner needs to be better. He has been erratic, but I could say Hyman needs to be better. RNH needs to be better. Arvidsson, you go right. McDavid needs to be better based on his standards. Ekholm, Bouchard. You go down that list of guys in that dressing room, outside of 29 who could win the Hart today, none of them are having great seasons, including Stuart Skinner.
In the Western Conference right now, okay? Connor Hellebuck, way better. Yeah. Jake Ottinger, way better. Mackenzie Blackwood, way better. Darcy Kemper.
Blackwood, based on
better.
what?
Well, based on you watch the games and you say, I can trust those guys to make those saves.
Blackwood hasn't gone deep in the playoffs ever.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
those are hearsay. Would you take this guy over that guy? Last year, at least Edmonton knows what they have in Skinner. That's what they're doing, and they're saying you guys got to play
they know what they have, but is it enough? That's the real question.
I mean, it was for them last year close enough. And you know, the panel was just talking about the addition of Wallman. I think lost in all of this is Kulak is going to probably play in a top 4 role. So you can move Wallman around a little bit. I think there is more stability. This group needs to be better. I think it's the dog days right now, and they look unenergized. They look uninspired. They need to play better, and then you can judge the goaltending because it goes hand in hand. But I'm not
arguing. Wait till after today, Noodles.
Kevin Lankin has been better.
There's not an upgrade in the National Hockey League out there for the Edmonton Oilers that would make sense cap-wise.
Well, the cap issue is one, right? Because you could say a healthy John Gibson is better.
John Gibson would be awesome on the training table.
Well,
he would sit there with
healthy.
He would be
Karel
amazing.
Vejmelka would have probably been an upgrade.
Forrest, I know their trainer. He would be awesome. He'd bring them sandwiches. They would hang out on ice bags left and right. But the bottom line is Stuart Skinner played 82 games last year, 59 in the regular season, 23 in the playoffs. He's showed some stability. I still think they need a goaltender there, Gino, because there's no NHL depth outside of Stuart Skinner and Pickard.
Well, Rodriguez is a good prospect, but
not going to step in and help
0 NHL games.
Yeah, the bottom line is the panel thinks they need an upgraded net. Stuart Skinner last year in the playoffs, even though he made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, 13th in save percentage and goals against in the playoffs last year, James.